Hermès made a sari, or what they think is a sari. They were clearly inspired by the drapings of a sari. Not a single one of their models were Indian in the entire runway show. Now more than ever is a time where we see so much cultural appropriation.
I was just doing my everyday doom scrolling and I came across this and I literally thought it was like the sari loom or lashkara or something. Because is that not a sharara, you guys?
Should I shed light on the opali dress? Before that, I made a video earlier on about Valentino. It's literally a joke how their runway show was literally South Asian inspired designs with no credit given whatsoever. Essentially, now is the perfect time to talk about cultural appropriation versus appreciation. The biggest trend I'm seeing is that all these Western brands are sort of getting inspired by the early 2000s Bollywood.
People are paying attention to any of these summer and spring trends right now. Ibiza wear, Ibiza skirt, sequence bra top. That's literally a sari blouse. You cannot tell me that's not literally 2000s Bollywood attire. Or a crop top with a maxi skirt and a little scarf and call it what? That's literally a lunga.
When we see it in brands like Pepper Mayo, and like we have this new aesthetic on the rise. I don't remember exactly what it's called. It's called like Ibiza skirt, Ibiza chic moment.
This Ibiza skirt. Oh, you're saying this is a sari blouse? But it kind of just looks like a crop top.
But they're all literally 2000s Bollywood fashion. Here's the thing. South Asians will be the first ones to compliment you and tell you your outfit looks amazing, as long as you are giving credit where credit is due.
I don't think you bitches get it, okay? You can't outdo the doer, okay? You can't outshine the shiner, baby.
Don't call it a new design of a skirt and a top because you just sound silly. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Maryam, and if you're into fashion, lifestyle, self-love topics, and also a bit of South Asian culture, then this channel is for you. Go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some luxury brands and some not so luxury brands and how they like to take from South Asian culture and how some of them may credit it and some of them may not. Let's talk about cultural appropriation versus appreciation, because now more than ever is a time where we need to spread the message, because it just feels like cultural appropriation is on the rise, and I just feel like as a South Asian creator myself, I need to talk about it. You should be hearing about South Asian couture from South Asians. That's what I believe, and if you believe that as well, make sure to give this video a thumbs up so it ensures it reaches as many people as possible. In this video, I want to focus on Hermès in particular, and I want to talk about this gorgeous show they did in 2008. That year was also named the Year of India in their brand. Their artistic director named it the Year of India. It was Pierre-Alexis Dumas. Pierre-Alexis Dumas was responsible for setting the theme every year for Hermès, and in 2008 he named it the Year of India. So right off the bat, we can see that they're already leading with giving credit where credit is due. They're showing everyone that they're taking inspiration from India for these collections. That on its own is a great thing to see. I want to use Hermès as a sort of case study in this video, because while they did a lot of the right things in their campaign in 2008, there are a few things I feel like they could have improved on. Paul Gaultier was the creative director of Hermès in 2008, and he genuinely fell in love with India, the culture, the clothes, the draping in specific. We can see in the images on the runway that he was heavily inspired by the drapings in South Asian clothing, the way the sari drapes, the way our dupattas drape. The draping was one of the biggest inspirations. I think the collection itself was done very beautifully, because Hermès's brand identity is something very minimal, chic, timeless, elegance. That's how I would describe it. And South Asian fashion has those elements, but it can also be very bold and maximalist, and we love that. And so I feel like Hermès took really good elements from South Asian fashion and made it their own while still giving credit. So you have your sari or their interpretation of a sari, but it still looks Hermès, if that makes sense. Since we're talking about the runway, number one thing I will say that they could improve on was they didn't have any South Asian models in the entire runway. And I feel like if you are going to take from the culture, you should most definitely have South Asian models, because it plays a part in being inclusive and in being diverse, and that's one thing I feel like they didn't hit the mark on. The pieces weren't exactly copy-paste of like a South Asian attire. You can see that he took elements, but he still made it his own. He didn't really copy-paste a sari, how a traditional sari looks, or how a traditional salwar suit looks, or how other traditional pieces look. He clearly made it his own, and it's beautiful to see when inspiration is taken, brought to life, and coupled with giving credit where credit is due. Let's come back to the model discussion really quick, because even though Paul Gaultier did not use an Indian model or a South Asian model in the runway, he did have a campaign done in India with an Indian model, Lakshmi Menon, who is of South Asian heritage. The campaign was also shot in India with a beautiful elephant, further emphasizing the connection to India and their collection. So that was about Hermès. I would love to hear what you guys think about the collection in general, and also the way he took inspiration from the culture. But now let's talk more about cultural appropriation versus appreciation. Let me start by being super candid. If you as a non-South Asian person are wondering if you are allowed to wear South Asian clothes, the short answer to that is yes, you are, as long as you are giving credit where credit is due. As long as you are not stealing elements from the culture and repackaging it as being something else, selling it off, or claiming it's something else. As long as you're not doing that, you can.
This would go amazing with our Scandinavian scarves. This hot pink Scandinavian scarf.
Because South Asians will literally be the first ones to hype you up, tell you look amazing, and just love what you're wearing, as long as you're giving them credit, because we've already had so much stolen from us. $45 trillion during the colonial times, and I think that number is insane. I think 1 billion is insane, let alone 1 trillion or 45 trillion. So I think we've had enough stolen from us for our entire lifetime. So you can see why South Asians get riled up, why we get so angry when we see more of that happening in today's day and age. Do you see what I mean? I talk more about this on my Instagram and my TikTok, and if you're not following me on there, now is the perfect time to follow me. I've made videos in the past about cultural appropriation. For example, Valentino Spring Summer collection, if I'm not mistaken, for the previous year. That show was honestly South Asian inspired, with the clothes, the bangalas, the aesthetic, the prints, the paisley prints. I feel like the #1 print that is appropriated the most is the paisley print. I just feel like it's seen everywhere, especially in the brand Etro, and the Opali dress scandal that's happened recently. My TikTok about that literally blew up, and rightfully so. And now I want to talk about the continued love affair between Paul Gaultier and India. After he left Hermès as the creative director, when he went back to his own line, he had a show in 2017, and we could see in the pieces that his love for India was still there, especially that black one, the one that's draped. It's such a fusion moment. It's like a sari draping, but like a blazery look. It's just so interesting to see how designers can take inspiration from cultures and, like, you know, make it their own. I enjoy seeing his work because I know that he gives credit where credit is due. I know he values the culture, the traditions, and that's what you love to see. You're happy for it to be used as long as there's credit giving where credit is due. He designed a collection inspired by the sari as well, but this time he reinterpreted the traditional garment with a unique twist for the winter season. His 2017 show combined elements of the sari with a ski resort inspired chic look. That is such a unique combo. So while both the collections, the one in Hermès and the one he did at Paul Gaultier, were both inspired by India, but they were interpreted in such different ways. And then he had an interview with Elle magazine, and he was asked, what about the sari inspires you to create it in new ways? And then he said he's always been attracted to the beauty of traditional clothes, whether it's kimono in Japan or the sari in India. And he said embracing tradition makes us stronger. If you want to read more of that interview, I'll link it down below for you. I made this video to shed light on cultural appropriation versus appreciation, and any doubts any of us may be having about whether it's okay to wear South Asian clothes as a non-South Asian individual. Generally, I feel like the topic is such a hot topic that we often feel scared to ask questions because we're scared of being cancelled or saying the wrong things, or, you know, being wrong. But it's okay to ask questions. I feel like it's important to make a space, to create a safe space where we can ask our questions. Brands make mistakes. The best brands are the ones who learn from their mistakes. I hope you guys found this video helpful, entertaining, and nice to watch. And I want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You're gone now. Will you come